So yesterday morning I made a video talking about how excited I was for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. I put it up pretty early in the morning because I am running out of time. The game comes out tomorrow on the Switch and Xbox One. I'm going to wait for the PS4 version. I already bought it, pre-ordered it with the special edition. I'm not going to just get a game on a different console just because it comes out earlier. It doesn't make any sense to me. The cool thing about it is that if you get the Xbox One or the Switch version, your save data progress will all transfer over to the Steam version once it's available, and the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Steam versions all have crossplay. The PS4 version does not, it kind of does its own thing. For me personally, I don't care about online as much in fighting games. I have more fun playing fighting games locally with people I know. Um, if the game's worth it, like Dragon Ball Fighters, for example, or even Tekken 7, sometimes or Street Fighter 5, I will play online, but it's just not my bread and butter. It's not what I really invest in when it comes to fighting games. Yeah, I know that's a big draw for fighting games is the online multiplayer, but for me, that's just not really what I really care about. But either way, and I'm sure people are gonna buy it on PS4 anyway. But either way, I am really excited for the game. The gameplay looks super solid, super fun. The Rangers they selected so far look really good. But in my video, I even said, guys, there's probably going to be like 15 characters total. They're going to show off more characters. The game's not going to be released with 9 characters. The game is being released with 9 characters. Here's the thing. This is a $20 game. It's totally a budget game. There's plenty of fighting games that come out with very small rosters. The the difference is a lot of those games have one-on-one fighting mechanics, and it doesn't bother me too much that games like fighting EX Layer and stuff like that come out with so much fewer characters because it still feels diverse enough, and you at least know there's going to be future updates later down the road. So it doesn't really bug me too much. But in a 3-on-3 fighting game, shipping with only 9 characters, that's really strange. It seems as if they're trying to rush this game out as fast as they can to try to get some hype before Mortal Kombat comes out. And I don't understand. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Mortal Kombat are not direct competitors. In fact, Mortal Kombat is a one-on-one, slower paced, footsies based fighting game. It's going to be way more comparable to games like Street Fighter V than it is comparable to Power Rangers, which is Power Rangers is more comparable to games like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Dragon Ball Fighters. Obviously, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but that game's kind of old by now. So what I'm saying here is that its main competition will be Dragon Ball Fighters and like BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle and stuff like that. So they can really release this at any point in time. There's no reason, especially because it's from Inway, and so it doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe it's something to do with the Power Rangers brand. Maybe it's something related to Power Rangers. Maybe Power Rangers has a big plan down the road later this year, and they want to make sure this game gets out now. It's very confusing why they want to do this now. And they said that it'll have a season pass. It'll come with character skins, with more character skins being unlockable later down the road, including the. I think if you get you pre-order the game, you get a Green Ranger skin. If you buy the season pass, or what comes with the season pass will include the Pink Ranger skin and a new skin for Lord Draken as well. And if you buy the season pass, you get like a Dragon Shield skin for Tommy. Not Tommy, but for Jason. You get a Dragon Shield for Jason. So it's going to be the Red Ranger with the gold shield, sort of like how the Green Ranger has, but it'll be on the Red Ranger, which he does a few times in the show. And they do this a lot in the comics. And I actually really like that but it will be weird when people will be using Jason and Tommy on a team together. They both have the shield. It's supposed to be one or the other. They're not supposed to both have it at the same time. But either way, it's cool that Jason will have that option just to keep it more similar to the show. But the thing is that something like that would be a lot cooler again if there was more characters. Now, when they first announced characters like Cat and Mastodon Sentry, it didn't bother me because I figured those characters were in the game for padding purposes. I didn't think they were going to be the only 9 characters in the game. I thought for sure that what they were trying to do was show us some of the more unique characters right off the bat, and then show us some of the rest of the characters later. and that's where we would get like our first Blue Ranger. We still have no Blue Ranger in the entire game, and that's very strange how there's an entire Power Rangers fighting game without a Blue Ranger. They're talking about 3 DLC characters for this season, and I'm hoping they plan on updating this game as much as they update Legacy Wars, the mobile game. That game has so many characters in it, and if they want this fighting game to actually do well and succeed, they're gonna need to put some characters in and update stages in and do all sorts of stuff like that. I understand they kind of did the bare minimum for right now. They have a Red Ranger, they have Jason, the original Red Ranger, Tommy, the original Green Ranger. You kind of need those two for a fighting game. Lord Draken, who's a super huge villain right now. He's probably the most beloved thing to come out of Power Rangers in recent years. So yeah, putting him in, that's a good call. And then Goldar, classic villain. He's in season 1 as well as the rest of Mighty Morphin. So that's a big good call on their part. This because season 1 was the pre Lord Zed era, and so they were pretty smart in what they're doing. And then adding in Magna Defender. He's a great sixth ranger. If you're going to put in a ranger to represent, like, if you want someone to be a Black Ranger, but also be a Sixth Ranger, Magnum Defender is such a fantastic choice. He's so perfect. He's so unique looking. And so if you're going to put in the Meston Sentry, but also still want a unique Black Ranger, that's a good combination. Those two right there is probably the best they could have done the Black Ranger situation. And what they're doing with the Pink Ranger with Ranger Slayer is also a fantastic idea, especially because she can have the Pink Ranger skin. So adding in her and another Pink Ranger from a different, series that's not Mighty Morphin, that would be really ideal. And that's what I thought they were going to do. Maybe throw in Jin from Time Force, the Pink Ranger from Time Force, especially because she's kind of important in the comics and she's important in her own season for the Time Force series. And we didn't get that. And so that's really confusing why they would go for something like this. And then again, yeah, not even a single Blue Ranger. That blows my mind because why would you throw in Gia from Super Mega Force? I understand Super Mega Force has a really cool iconic design, while the show itself might not have been the best. That design is awesome, and at least one character from that design should be in the game. I honestly feel the same way about Samurai, or maybe even like In Space or something like that. Like, I would really like just like one of those really special versions of Power Rangers that are like, hey, this is from this design is based off like a specific thing. Like, if you want a ninja based character, you could look at Ninja Storm and even include something like the Green Samurai Ranger. I mean Green Samurai, not from Power Rangers Samurai, but from Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and because that was called the Samurai Ranger. But you could, yeah, just the Green Ninja Storm Ranger. We could call him that. So we could have something like that in the game, and he could be a ninja-esque character. But also, you could even include something like the Yellow Ninja Ranger. He's a male Yellow Ranger. There's not that many of them, and he has a hammer. So that could have been a great idea right there. That could have been really fun. So, and also they have like wind powers. Like they all, or no, he has like earthquake powers or something like that. They all have like different powers, ninja powers. So, Ninja Storm would be a great show to take from. So I don't understand. Again, I'm just really confused, like what they're thinking with this little amount of characters. This game could easily have had a lot of characters to pad it out. There's a lot of material to choose from, and I know the idea is they need to all feel unique. And I gotta be honest, Red Ranger and Green Ranger look so amazing and unique. It's part of what makes this game look so good. Magnum Defender also has a sword, but he looks like he fights nothing like Jason with his sword. So I mean, and Goldar also looks like he has like some like flying abilities that look similar to Firebrand from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite. So like, to me, this is shaping up to be a really cool, fun, unique game. The characters all look really, really unique. It looks like Inoue knows what they're doing, but they're going to need to include way, way, way more characters. I feel like a lot of us are being swindled right now, as they waited till we all pre-ordered the game, then said the release date, and then we were like, oh, the game comes out in 3 days. Where's the rest of the characters? Are you going to show us? And then they said, what do you mean, rest of the characters? This is the characters. Ooh, no. No, so I would not be surprised if people are canceling their pre-orders. This is not good. This is very bad. And I'm hoping that in like a year, there'll be like 6 more characters added in with plans to keep going. I would really love it if instead of making a sequel down the road with the proper amount of characters, they just kept building onto this game and adding in a ton of content. That would probably be the best possible scenario here. Because at this rate, this is bad. And honestly, yes, the season pass is cool and all, but they should also really plan on doing some free content because as of right now, even at $20, this seems really weird and questionable. But I mean, I've bought worse games for $20, but it's just a 3-on-3 fighting game with 9 characters. You know how many times you're gonna fight the same character on different teams? You know, it's that's not fun. That's not something you want to deal with. And I know it's just going to be too samey. People are going to figure out the best team, and you need more diversity to keep the meta fresh. And luckily, added on DLC content is DLC content, downloadable content. I should have said that, but the point is that with added on DLC, when it comes to characters, most fighting game fans don't mind because it makes the meta fresh again. As long as the character isn't too broken, it changes things up and makes characters that used to be really top tier have to worry about a new character sometimes or something like that. So that part sounds completely fine to me. I'm totally fine with post game content, but the only issue is we have to rely on the idea that they're going to keep releasing a bunch. We have to support the game while it's in a pretty shitty state, hoping they release more, hoping they put more into the game, making it a more viable game in the future. And we have to basically the early adopters are going to be the ones hurt in the end. Now, I really want to see this game do well. I love Power Rangers, and this fighting game looks really amazing. So, like gameplay wise, it looks super dope. So, I'm gonna be supporting it from day one. I really, really hope that it gets enough support and I'm not just wasting my damn time. But they could easily turn this around, putting in some amazing fan favorites. Throw a Blue Ranger in there, for God's sake, at least one Blue Ranger, and that better be like if you don't do the Blue Ranger with the first season pass, like because it looks like there's only talks about 3 characters right now. They better fucking add a free Blue Ranger in there. Like seriously, the game needs more characters. Now the good thing is that this is the day before the game comes out on Switch, and they straight up said we're going to be announcing post-launch content soon. Basically, going to be confirming the Gold Ranger and the White Mystic Force Ranger, and hopefully the third Ranger. I don't know, maybe they'll only show one of the DLC Rangers. And that's all fine and dandy. And don't get me wrong, when the Gold Ranger's in the game, that's going to be really, really cool. So again, I am excited for this game. I have faith in this game that'll be cool. Man, I can't wait to play as the Gold Ranger in this game. Like that's just fun. And the idea of building up your like favorite 3-man team from your 3 favorite Power Rangers, that's really cool. And that's why they need to pick from fan favorites. And it's okay if they skip out on some of the lesser cool characters, but at least represent different seasons of the shows with random colored rangers from those shows. Like you get a Blue Ranger from In Space, or like Ninja Storm, I think that was a female one, or just anything like that. You get a Blue Ranger just from like a random series. Even Dino Charge would be a great choice. That would represent that entire series probably well. So it comes down to picking a Blue Ranger that could be a unique show from a unique season, as well as that particular ranger having a weapon that no other character has so far. This is why like there's like Green Rangers, Yellow Rangers, and Blue Rangers. Some of them have staffs, some of them have axes, some of them have like hammers. So you could easily get a diverse character from a diverse season with not only a unique weapon but unique abilities from that season. Like a blue in Space Ranger would have like a hoverboard, and that could be really really cool. A blue or a yellow Ranger from Ninja Storm, or even a blue Ranger from Ninja Storm, would have mystical elemental attacks. So that could be really cool. Stuff like that. So there's plenty to choose from. Plenty. I will say we probably won't see another Zeo Ranger because of the Gold Ranger. We probably won't see a Mystic Force Ranger because of the White Mystic Force Ranger. But I would like to see some more generic Rangers because there's easy character representation there. But the problem is that those characters that aren't as exciting, those characters that aren't like Sixth Rangers, who are super badass and beloved by all the fans, those ones are not going to be as exciting. And the problem is that not characters who are good for filling up the roster need to be in the game day one, with more exciting outlandish characters being DLC. I totally am. I totally did not expect Gold Ranger to be in the starting roster because Jason is already in the game. They call him Jason. Gold Ranger isn't Jason the entirety of Zeo Rangers, but for crying out loud, like he is. Jason plays him later on. So like, yes, we need. It makes sense to not include the Gold Ranger right away, but the idea that, we're just the idea that we'd have two Jasons in the game that's crazy. So I totally was fine with him not being in the main game and being DLC, especially because Zeo, even though Zeo is badass show, it's not Mighty Morphin and blah blah blah. And I would also, kind of expect more. I just expected also like if they did more like Red Rangers, totally fine with that being DLC. Even the Psycho Rangers could easily be DLC, but those could also have been in the main game. I'm totally expecting a Psycho Ranger to be DLC, whether it be the red or the green one. But we need some more characters here. This is just not enough. So hopefully we'll be getting some real soon. And I would really like some free DLC updates as well, because if you expect me to buy every single character just to make the game have a actually fulfilling roster, then you're crazy. If they do make every character where you have to pay for it, they better update all the DLC characters into the arcade mode, so that way you can fight them for free, and you just can't play as them unless you buy them. If they don't do that, then that will be shocking, because this game desperately needs more stages and more characters. I feel like it's totally being released at a completely unfinished state, and that might be justifiable for some of us because it's $20, but I'm buying the $40 edition that comes with the season pass and everything, and that's what you're going to have to spend to make this game into the more full game already anyway. And going from 9 characters to 12 characters doesn't exactly mean it's a full-on game for me. Like, I still feel like this game is massively unfinished. So, here's hoping DLC will come down the road and it will be good DLC. So, I'm going to end the video here. There's not much I have left to be said. I think it is fair to say, hey, they made an arcade mode that's specific for each character. That's really impressive and good. They made the characters very unique, and the gameplay itself looks really fun. And it is asking a lot to have all those amazing things and then skip out on the characters. To me, those amazing things do matter more so than characters. And by that, I mean the characters need to be super unique. I'd rather have less characters if they were more unique. But if we could get some free updates that are basically just clone characters, I'm not saying straight up Echo Fighters like Smash Bros does it, but maybe some semi-clone characters, or how Ryu and Ken are sort of different from each other. They're not exactly the same. If you want to do something like that, I would be okay with it because it would just pad out the roster. But obviously only for a few characters that should be done with. And I'm pretty sure the Gold Ranger will be nothing like the Red Ranger Jason, so I'm not even saying that's what they're doing. I'm just saying something to get this game with a bigger roster needs to happen. And I don't care if they put in, I don't really care who they put in, honestly. But to me, there's so many easy options for amazing, unique characters in the Power Rangers lore and universe. And these guys worked on Legacy War, which has a huge spanning roster of characters from all sorts of different Power Rangers seasons. So the idea that they can't figure out some unique characters, well, they already know all the characters that would be unique. So to me, it just makes total sense. Like, come on, guys, you know what to do here. Don't drop the ball here. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and catch you guys later. Yeah, have a good day, and hopefully some of you guys who still are picking this game up tomorrow on Switch or Xbox One still have a good ass time with it. I know I'm still excited as fuck to play this game. So I'm gonna leave it here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.